Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Dumb Laws from the Grave. I'm your host, Grave Knives, coming to you from the Grave's Court. Today on our agenda, well, within the past couple months, Illinois passed a new law. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more in detail, but it was one of the things it did was increase the cigarette sale tax by $1. So that's gone up. And anybody who lives in Illinois, especially by the Missouri border, definitely knows that they go into Missouri and actually probably surrounding states around Missouri, period. Like Iowa and I don't know, any other state that touches Missouri on the other side probably does about the same thing because Missouri's sale tax is very low. But anyways, with Illinois kicking it up even higher and Missouri being so much lower, I guess this is it's brought some concern to them. It's not just the tax increase that got my attention. I had a friend of mine, and he told me about how his friend had gone across the river. Now, I grew up 20 minutes from St. Louis on the other side of the river in Illinois. And so, going across the river where I lived, it was literally, my parents all the time growing up, that's where they went to go get their cigarettes. And there's a dirt cheap right on the other side of Alton Bridge. So, but, and if you don't know what a dirt cheap is, it's a cigarette and liquor, a discount place sale. It's pretty cheap. It is. Anyways, so it's always been a convenient thing. And until they just recently updated this law, even you were allowed, like from the last time they updated it in 2012, you were still allowed to have a carton of cigarettes and bring a carton back across the river with you. You could enter the state with a carton of cigarettes from out of state. They didn't bust you for it. I mean, like, they could pull you over and they still you wouldn't get in trouble. But if you had more than a carton, if you had like multiple cartons, then they may do something to you then. But a lot of times, if you just explain to them, if you live far away, you could be like, look, I live, an hour away. I stock up. That's so I'm not making all these trips. I'm trying to save gas. And, they usually, cops would usually be lenient about that. And they'd be understanding in that nature. So, you could get away with it in that instance. But like now, apparently you can't get away with anything because my buddy's friend, and they're coming back across the river, they got pulled over, and now they're looking at it because they had a carton on them, thousands of dollars of fines. So I was like, what the hell? What is going on? So now I got to check this out because I got lots of friends and family growing up down there, and I still don't live that far away. I don't live that much further than where I was, but yeah, I know a lot of people who cross that. The Missouri border connects a lot with Illinois, so I know a lot of people out there. And like I said, even surrounding states around Missouri, But the laws, Illinois law wouldn't affect them like this. However, this is pretty harsh, it seems. Thousands of dollars for a carton? We got to figure this out and see what's going on. What are these penalties? What are the new rules? And I have done the work, I've done the digging, and I've got it all here ready to go for us. So without any further ado, let's see what they got. All right, so let's get started here. I told you that within the past couple months, we got a new law. Raising, it's not just cigarettes, but it was gas too. This is a short article detailing the tax. So we're going to read through that real quick. Other than that, it's the only article I'm reading. The rest is going to be off .gov sites and facts. So here we go. Illinois residents. Oh yeah, and they raised the age of 21 to buy cigarettes, to buy tobacco products, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think smoking's good for you by any means. It's bad. It's very unhealthy. So that's not a bad thing, but if you want to make people actually quit smoking, fucking ban cigarettes. Make it a dry state or something, or dry counties. They do that with alcohol. Anyways, so Illinois will join a handful of other states banning sales of cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, and e-cigarettes and raising the age limit from 18 to 21. Dozens of communities in the states have already enacted similar ordinances. The state will also increase its $1.98 per pack cigarette by $1. So it'll be $2.98. The last increase was in 2012. Like I said, back then too, when they increased it, they still said you could get a carton. Like, I even remember back in the day going sometimes, and it was kind of a hit and miss thing. Like, sometimes you could go in and be from Illinois, and they'd sell you however many cartons you want. They didn't care. Occasionally, though, like, you know, someone would probably be cracking down on them. So if you go over there, probably one of those times. And because I've had it where when they carded me and they seen I was from Illinois, they'd only let me buy a carton. That was it. They're like, you're only allowed to buy a carton. Sorry. So I was like, all right. So anyways, now though, it seems like that's gone. Money will be used to pay for construction projects at schools and colleges along with other facilities. Like maybe, you know, give some to IDOT, you know, because I don't know for how many months I had to watch ads on YouTube about the bad roads in Illinois. The roads are falling apart. It was somebody's campaign shit. That's what it was. It wasn't really them caring about the roads. Illinois residents will also be paying more for gas. The state is doubling its motor fuel from 18 cents to 38 cents. Yeah. Freaking 38 cents. And, I mean, it's up to 38 cents. That's pretty pricey. I don't know. Apparently, Pritzker wanted, what was it, like a mileage tax? He wanted to impose a mileage tax on people for driving so many miles, too. It was like, what the shit? Surprised we haven't seen toll booths show up yet. Oh, shit. I probably need to erase that. Just gave them their next idea. Anyways, so this is, like I said, I lived about 20 minutes from St. Louis. So I just wanted to show this map just to show the how much Illinois borders with Illinois, or Missouri and Illinois border. Anyways, so I mean Indiana is quite a bit too, but Indiana doesn't have a sales tax on their cigarettes of like 17 cents. So I don't know, that maybe Missouri has raised that a little bit, but I don't think by much. If they have, I guarantee it's well under $1. So, and when you got sales tax of $3 in Illinois, and not to mention up in Chicago, like Chicago has a city sales tax on top of the state and on top of the federal. So it's like something like $6.50 or something, like I don't know. It's a crazy number. It's like $12 and a half dollars, maybe a little more, depending on where you go in Chicago to get cigarettes. A pack. I mean, that's, man. And you know they do target. You know, I mean, this is targeting low income. That's kind of another thing that kind of bugs me about it, because the majority of people who smoke are low income. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to like judge. I'm low income. I guarantee, and I freaking smoke. So it's just it's a statistic that's out there that seems to be fairly true from what I've seen. So, I mean, anyways, point is though, there's a lot of border there, and I'm sure they're watching the hell out of it at this point. So, anyways, I went looking through. This is the ATF. You know, this is one of the first spots I kind of dove into was the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So, but what this is mainly about tobacco enforcement. It says they have primary jurisdiction over the Contraband Cigarette Trafficking Act, but this is more like towards large scale, big trafficking, you know, truckload, stuff like that. Not Joe Blow with 10 cartons in his car, in his back seat, you know. So, anyway, so then I moved on to this side. This is Illinois Revenue. This one I'm definitely going to leave down there as far as the address. It's a .gov as well. And the question here is it illegal to bring cigarettes into Illinois? It is illegal to purchase cigarettes outside of Illinois for personal use or for use by friends, neighbors, or co-workers without paying Illinois cigarette use tax. Smuggling is illegal transportation of cigarettes between states, ranging from a small part-time operation to a large-scale business. Unauthorized transportation of cigarettes, whether casual or commercial, smuggling usually takes place across the borders of neighboring states. You know, a politician wrote that or something, because just that random obvious fact had to be stated at the end. Usually takes place across the borders of neighboring states. Well, where the hell are we going to smuggle it? China? China? Japan? Australia. I love me some Australian cigarettes. Anyways. Fucking winners. Anyway, so down here, answers others found helpful. You know, it says, what is the cigarette use tax? Well, and I don't really care. I know what it is. I know that it's $1 more on every pack of cigarettes, and that's going into the state of Illinois. So, who is responsible for paying Illinois cigarette use tax? I don't know how many people ask that question, but that's a stupid fucking question. Sorry, that's a stupid question. The people buying the cigarettes, they're the ones going to pay for the tax. So calm down. What are the penalties associated with failure to pay cigarette use tax? And now we start getting somewhere. For possession of unstamped cigarettes, and unstamped, every state has a stamp, and it says on there where they're from, and it shows that they, that Illinois has gotten their money because they've been taxed properly. You ain't got that stamp, you got an out-of-state stamp. $20 for each package of cigarettes in excess of 9 packages, but not more than 100 packages, and $25 for each pack of cigarettes in excess of 100 packages. 100 packs is, 10 cartons. So if you got more than 10 cartons, you probably are bringing some back for somebody. But at the same time, it's been done before, in the past. It's like, oh, you're going down there? Well, hey, can I give you like $50 and you give me a carton or something, because I don't want to pay 70 over here. So, and it was like, sure, I'm already going, why not? Anyway, so there are also criminal penalties for the sale of possession of unstamped cigarettes. In addition, there are criminal penalties for unauthorized transportation of unstamped cigarettes. And that means if they really, really want to be super mean to you, they can say, oh, you brought those, you smuggled those in. That's transportation. They're going to get you with smuggling too. Which I don't even know what smuggling comes as. But let's go ahead and move on, because right now we're looking at the pack. Now, I will say this. Here it says in excess of 9 packs. That means a carton to 10 cartons. It's $20 a pack. But if you remember just a minute ago, we did read, it is illegal to purchase cigarettes outside of Illinois for personal use for personal use or use by friends, neighbors, or coworkers without paying the Illinois cigarette tax. It does not say a number there. That says, so it kind of leaves me wondering, like, what about that 1 to 9? Are they saying that you can get up to 9 packs? But obviously not. I don't think so, because this is the actual legislative, and I'll leave the address down there for this as well. Hell, I'll leave the link if you want. I'll still leave the link actually to this into the comment section, just because. It's not that hard to find, but so I've got this pretty much wrote down and sectioned out because I read through a lot of this. I'm not going to show you how big this is right now because I don't want to lose my place. But anyways, after I'm done reading this, I'll try to remember to show the whole damn page. This is a lot here. So the first one up is 18B. Possession of more than 100. Now this one kind of does this backwards. Like they do the 100 and up first, and then they do the 10 to 100. Possession of more than 100 original packages of contraband cigarettes, penalty with the exception of licensed distributors and transporters as defined in Section 9C of this Act. Possessing unstamped original packages of cigarettes and licensed distributors possessing original packages of cigarettes that bear a tax stamp of another state or taxing jurisdiction. Anyone possessing or having possessed contraband cigarette contained in original packages is liable to pay the department for deposit in the Tax Compliance and Administration Fund, and penalty of $25 for each such package of cigarettes in excess of 100 packs, unless reasonable cause can be established by the person upon whom the penalty is imposed. This penalty is in addition to the taxes imposed by this Act. Reasonable cause shall be determined in each situation in accordance with rules adopted by the department. So anyways, So yeah, you're 100 packs, obviously 25 and up. It's a lot there, man. And to do this over and over and to find these was kind of a pain in the ass. 18C is our next one here. This is the one more close again to us. Like as far as like regular people that aren't, going out and trying to sell these off. Because yeah, I would say if you're getting more than 10 cartons, you're trying to sell them. So I mean, or you got to be doing something with it, or it's not all for you. I don't know. Anyways, possession of not less than 10, but not more than 100 original packages of contraband cigarettes penalty, with the exception of licensed distributors and transporters, as defined in Section 9C of this Act. Possessing unstamped original packages of cigarettes and licensed distributors possessing original packages of cigarettes that bear a tax stamp of another state or taxing jurisdiction. Anyone possessing or having possessed not less than 10 and not more than 100 packages of contraband cigarettes contained in original packages is liable to pay to the department for deposit into the tax compliance and administration fund a penalty for $15 for each such package of cigarettes, unless reasonable cause can be established. Okay, it says the same thing at the end there. But now this one, though, however, at that on that last page we were just looking at, it did say 20, and this one says 15. So, that's kind of like throws me off, but I guess a penalty of $15 for each package. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say like at a discretion or somebody's like, choosing, but I don't know. Here it says 15, so I find it weird. So who knows? You'll get a $15 or $20. Who knows? It still sucks, man. That's still New York prices. Hell, I think that's high for New York. Anyways, no, that's probably like New York. I think that might be about New York prices or so. Crazy, ain't it? Anyways, but still, they're not mentioning that 1 to 9. What happens if you have that 1 to 9 packs? So, it almost sounds like they're leaving it open for you still, right? Hold on. We're getting through this. There's a lot to get through. Let's see. D. Cigarette package sizes. Get this shit. Sale of individual or loose cigarettes prohibited. Loose cigarettes. You're like, I've seen places before where you can go up and like, if you don't have the money for a whole pack or whatever, I've seen this back in the day, but they'll have like a cup, like a styrofoam cup, and it'll have some cigarettes in it, loose cigarettes. And, they would charge like $0.25 a cigarette or something like that. And, yeah, I guess so. This is kind of one way. That's the only way I could see selling loose cigarettes. But anyways, sale of individual loose cigarettes prohibited. Cigarettes may only be sold in packages of 20 or 25 cigarettes. The sale of individual or loose cigarettes is prohibited. Any person who violates this section of this act is liable to pay to the department for a deposit in the tax compliance and administration fund a penalty of $1,000 for the first violation, $1,000 for your first violation, and $3,000 for any subsequent violation. So you do it again after that, you get busted selling loose cigarettes after that, $3,000. Holy hell. Not only that, though, it doesn't just stop with that fine, that base fine. Any person who violates this section shall be guilty of a Class 4 felony. The department may adopt rules to administer to the penalties under this section. Now, if you're curious to what a Class 4 felony is, because I wasn't really for sure on the specifics, but I looked it up. And apparently, Class 4 felony is up to 3 years in prison and or a fine up to $25,000. So if you sell loose cigarettes, I mean, so I assume, it's $1,000 and you're automatically getting the Class 4. And I guess if you do it again, it's $3,000 at a Class 4. I don't know if it's just $1,000. It has to be just a Class 4. Otherwise, they would be saying, misdemeanor or whatever it would be for the $1,000. So, damn. You sell loose cigarettes. Class 4 felony. $1,000 fine. And then, like I said, Class 4 felony, what, $25,000? Oh, man, that's just heavy. Now, this whole section here, we're not going to be going through that, thankfully. We're looking for 21. There's 22. Okay, 21. For a second, I thought it was that. I was like, I'm not reading that. I know I'm not. When any original packages of cigarettes or any cigarette vending machine. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Destruction or use of forfeited property. I'm going to paraphrase this real quick. Basically, anything that they take that you can be. I'm assuming transportation too, but it says vending, any vending device. But I would assume that if you're like hauling cigarettes in your vehicle, they could, and maybe dropping them off, they could probably consider that a vending device. So I mean, if they want to. And then it ultimately says that they will decide whether to destroy it, the whatever it is, destroy it, or use it for. How's it? Is sustained on review, destroy or maintain and use such property in a undercover capacity. That's cool and all. It's like when stuff though starts getting used like in a private capacity. That's when I have concerns. Okay. So, 22. False stamps. These ones are pretty, like I said, it's the stamp on the bottom of the pack. Any person who falsely or fraudulently makes, forges, alters, or counterfeits any stamp provided for herein, cause or procures to be falsely or fraudulently made, forged, altered, or counterfeited any such stamp, knowingly or willingly utters, publishes, passes, or tenders as genuine any such false, altered, forged, or counterfeited stamp. Falsely or fraudulently makes, forges, alters, or counterfeits any stamp, any tax imprint on an original package of cigarettes inside a sealed transparent wrapper. Transparent wrapper. Causes or procures falsely or fraudulently to be made, forged, altered, or counterfeited any such tax imprint, or knowingly and willingly utters. See, this is where the hell is the damn? It's a class 2 felony. I don't want to just like always just skip them, but that right there is a prime example of what the hell I read through. So much stuff. I mean, that's how they talk. That's why these things are so damn long, because they repeat themselves 6-7 times in a damn paragraph. Really, that's like 2 sentences they need to say there, and no, they gotta like make it into a fucking paragraph. It's ridiculous. Anyways, next up, where is 24? Now, I got this one highlighted because, I mentioned that 1 to 9, it's like they're not mentioning it all through there. They're not saying anything, so it's like it's seeming like you can get that 1 to 9. I knew I had seen it somewhere, and I had to go down, hunt it down, and I highlighted it so I didn't miss it again. Punishments for sale or possession of packages of contraband cigarettes. Possession or sale of 100 or less packages. There's no number there. 100 or less packages of contraband cigarettes, with the exception of licensed distributors, licensed secondary distributors, or licensed transporters as defined in Section 9C of this Act. Any person who has in his or her possession or sells 100 or less original packages of contraband cigarettes is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor and a Class 4 felony for each subsequent offense occurring within 12 months of a prior offense. So, you have a pack of cigarettes? Class A misdemeanor. Yes. It's written right there. I just read it. If you have and there is no number. Like I said, like in the other sections, this is a different section. You got to keep that in mind. It's not like, well, it says up there. No, it doesn't fucking matter. Yes, it does say that, that is defining what that was defining, just in case you're confused. That was defining the how much you're going to be paying per pack. Now, like, I guess it has to be over 10 packs, basically, for them to start hitting that $15, $20 a pack fee on each one. Now, also keep in mind, you're going to be paying the tax as well. It's not just the fee, the $20 per pack or $15 a pack or whatever. It ain't gonna be just that. You're gonna pay that. You're gonna pay the fee, the tax. Apparently the administration fund too. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's along with the tax that you have to pay in, but it almost sounded like up there when they were talking about like two different things. Now, that's pretty crazy if you really think about it, though. Possession of 100 or less, so 10 cartons or less, 1 pack. And I know you might be thinking, I'll just tear my, they come right off now. Just tear it off. Yeah, you know what? If you got a single pack, that'll work. If you have like, we'll say 2 or 3 packs in your car, you get pulled over, and the cop looks at your pack, opens it up. Well, you've been smoking out of that one. Those are not even used, but you got the cellophane off. So you're going to get a ticket for that. For smuggling cigarettes in without an Illinois stamp. So anyways, I don't know, that it keeps going more. Let's see, what else do we got here? See, possession or sale of more or less. Now this is kind of like, okay, from 100 to 251, it's kind of like the same penalty, except it has that $25 a pack thing going on. So it becomes a whole lot more. The first time, it's still the first time is only a Class A misdemeanor, but if you do it again within 12 months, or no, not even within 12 months, if you just do it again, it's a Class 4 felony. So, and by the way, a Class A misdemeanor is 364 days in jail or up to a $2,500 fine. $2,500. That's so. I mean, and think about that with the single pack. You can get a Class A misdemeanor and a fucking $2,500 fine for 1 or 2 packs of cigarettes from Missouri. Ow, that freaking hurts so bad just to even think about. I mean, I honestly, anyone who kind of stumbled into that, even if, like my buddy's friend who went over there and got a carton. Nobody knew, so I had no idea. That person didn't know until they got pulled over. So, and then they were going to court and getting their freaking fines out the world. So, I mean, I almost want to add that up real quick, right? But anyways, let's get through this here. Now, there's another one where it kind of kicks up from 250 to 1,001 packs. Let's see, I think this is where... Yep, it takes away, you no longer, well, if you have 1,000 packs, that's like, what, 100 cartons? Oh, wait, no, more than 250. So, okay, anywhere between, still, 250 to 1,000 packs. Not 1,000 cigarettes, 1,000 packs. And, that is, well, it's a Class 4 felony automatically. There is no misdemeanor for that one. Now, if you go beyond that, if you have more than 1,000 cigarettes, or 1,000 packs of cigarettes, it's Class 3 felony, which is it's really just more years in jail, up to 5 years in jail, and a $2,500 fine. So yeah, good times. There's even a little section here about officers. Any person or any officer, agent, or employee of any person required by this act to make, file, render, sign, or verify any report or return who makes any false or fraudulent report on return of files any false or fraudulent report on return, or shall fail to make such report on return or file such report on return when due. See what I mean? Shall be guilty of a Class 4 felony. Basically, if someone like let something slide, something goes away. Oh well, this crate of cigarettes disappeared. No, there wasn't 20. There was 19. Something like that. Anything like that. That's what I presume that's referring to as corruption, and them taking it and whatever. That's about it. There's an unlicensed distributor penalty. Oh, you know what? That would actually apply if you go and pick cigarettes up for somebody. Then yeah, this would apply to you too. Hold on. Where the hell was that one at? 26. Whoever acts as a distributor, secondary distributor, retailer, or manufacturer representative of original packages without having a license as required by this act shall be guilty of a class 4 felony. No misdemeanors there. So if you do get caught with a bunch of cigarettes, don't fucking say that you're getting them for somebody else, because otherwise you're going to just get a class 4 felony right there. Damn. I mean, these are heavy penalties. And for what? Because they want to make sure that they're getting their tax money off all the smokers. You guys can't go find a deal somewhere else. You have to, and if you do go find a deal somewhere else and we catch you doing it, you're going to either pay us, tens of thousands of dollars, or you can pay up to tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, I'll tell you now, I've had a Class A misdemeanor before. That shit ain't fun. That shit's expensive. I mean, I didn't do anything bad. I just driving while suspended, and I didn't know because Illinois, for some reason, didn't send me my notification letter to say, hey, you're suspended. So, like, for 3.5 months, I drove around until I got pulled over one night while I was on my lunch break. That was a good time. Oh, anyways, so yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had it before. I've paid big ass fines like that, and now, saying that though, with Illinois being as broke as it is, you can kind of count on not having to probably do any jail time so long as you have a job, because they will gladly take payments from you for the next 3 or 4 years or longer. So yeah, that's some rough stuff. I think that's pretty. In my ultimate I think that's a pretty dumb fucking law, because that penalty is so heavy. Now, I mean, I think I don't think it's too much of a grace thing that, just that 1 to 9 isn't saying that you can't get, in trouble for it. It's just saying they can't do the $15, $20 fine for each pack, but you can still get the Class A misdemeanor, which is a $2,500 fine. And like I said, Illinois is broke. You're going to get that fine. It says up to. So that's pretty damn rough, man. That's pretty hellish. Just to make sure that they get their money. Well, it's politics for you. It's Illinois politics for you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you learned something. And if you go over to get cigarettes, please be careful. And don't get yourself in trouble. I know myself, I personally won't be, I haven't done that for years anyway. I'm just too lazy to drive all the way down there to do that. But, yeah, be careful out there. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll see you then.